Now to the president saying the U.S. should respond to Iran shooting down a helicopter. MS Now's Inzamam Rashid following the latest on this. What more do we know?
So we've had it confirmed now from the president that it was, in fact, Iran that shot down this Apache helicopter over the Strait of Hormuz, Ariel, near to the coast of Oman. We got some news pretty late last night that this incident had taken place, but we didn't know whether this was down to technical failure, mechanical failure, or whether, in fact, it was Iran that used their military might to take down this U.S. helicopter. Now, the two crew members who were on board were rescued. They've been taken to safety, and the president said that they are uninjured. Let me just read you exactly what the president has posted on Truth Social in the last 30 minutes or so. He said that I've just been informed by our great military that last night the Iranians shot down one of our highly sophisticated Apache helicopters whilst patrolling over the Strait of Hormuz. There were two pilots involved. Both are safe and uninjured. Nevertheless, the United States must, of necessity, respond to this attack. Thank you for this attention to this matter. Now, that last line there, specifically saying that the United States must, of necessity, respond to this attack, is incredibly striking, because clearly the U.S. now vowing to respond to this Iranian attack, to this U.S. helicopter. Now, earlier in the day today, the Navy had said that they used a drone to find and rescue those two crew members of the helicopter. Now, it's my understanding that this was an unmanned drone boat that rescued the two U.S. forces. CENTCOM had also said earlier today that the soldiers were safely rescued within approximately 2 hours of that plane going down, and they are in a stable condition. And earlier they'd said that the cause was still under investigation. What I've been told as well, Ariel, by some military analysts here in the region is that the US have been using these AH-64 Apache helicopters to patrol that strategic waterway, the Strait of Hormuz, in an effort to deter Iranian attack boats, the small attack boats that they've been using throughout this conflict, and also to shoot down drones. I think what this is, Ariel, is a reminder that clearly Iran still has the military might to cause damage in this conflict, despite what President Trump has been saying, that their military has been completely wiped out. It really hasn't, because we've seen attacks not only towards the US, not only to Israel in the last few days, but also hitting the likes of Kuwait airport as well, targets in Bahrain. And I think this is now potentially even a further escalation, because where do we go from this in terms of a negotiation if the US is ready to respond to this attack and the fighting inside Lebanon today very much continues? I think that's the big question of getting out of this conflict. The terms of a deal, which President Trump says is days away, is just not looking true.
Inzamam Rashid, thank you so much for the very critical update. Just as Israel and Tehran seem to have been tamping down the violence, now we see this latest escalation. So to MS Now's Jackie Alemany at the White House. I know it's early, Jackie, but do we have any sense of what the response from the U.S. might look like as President Trump is calling for one?
Not just yet, Ariel. This certainly comes at an interesting and potentially problematic time for the president. We have obviously been in a stasis when it comes to any progress with negotiations and actually ongoing more escalated hostilities or kinetic operations in the region. And that has largely been because of regional allies who have urged the president to hold off from resuming more high-impact hostilities and try to focus on diplomatic negotiations, which the president himself has acknowledged could actually take more time than he initially admitted to. Remember, when we started this whole ordeal, he said it would only be a matter of a few weeks. We're obviously going on month 4 now. So the president has been impatient with sort of the pace of the way things are going, and this could be a very convenient impetus for him to resume some sort of action. But at the same time, politically, he's in a challenging position. This comes on the heels of a series of unpopular actions that he's taken domestically that have burned some goodwill with GOP lawmakers. It also comes just a week after GOP lawmakers joined with Democrats to pass war powers resolution to curb Donald Trump's war powers. Whether or not that's actually going to materialize into anything at the end of the day, there are some sort of issues with the toothlessness of this resolution and whether or not there's actually a real way to rein in the president's powers here. But ahead of the November midterms, when the president is facing the real reality that he could lose the full control of all levers of government, and these are really the last few sort of functioning months of any sort of ability to really govern and legislate and follow through on some of his administration's priorities, going to war again, resuming the hostilities and resuming something that is also deeply unpopular with the American people is something that might not fly with this U.S. Senate that has in the past largely abdicated a lot of responsibility in terms of curbing in the president, but we might just be at a tipping point. So we are going to be watching this situation very closely and seeing if as Trump has Truth Socialed out, whether or not the U.S. is actually going to take some retaliatory action, whether that is kinetic or through some sort of other coercive means.